listen to this with an open mind, not just, wow, this guy loves himself and his show. I do love my show and I love talking about it, but it's the foundation for what we're going to talk about today. Keeping all that in mind, you say, how in the world has this guy done this? He's not handsome, he's partially funny, and he's got this big long Polish last name that probably only him and his family can spell. So how has he been able to pull all this off? All those great guests that he's talking about, listeners in 132 countries. Here's why I'm doing this presentation. My fear is that people are doing a podcast, putting it out there, and taking the build it and they will come attitude. Saying, well, I uploaded it, so people are going to find it and listen to it now because it's out there. Well, it is out there, but if you're just releasing your podcast and expecting people to find it, I've got great show art. Or wait until you hear what the title of my podcast is, though. I don't care. People aren't going to find it just because you have a cool little logo that on iTunes is about that big, or because you have what you think is a cool name.
Bruce is a great example of just being professional, respectful. If there was a deadline to turn in headshots, bio, he met that. Well, actually, he came in ahead of deadline. He promoted the conference strongly. He talked about that he was going to be there. He was so supportive. When he came to the conference, he was there when he was supposed to be there. He supported the other speakers. He supported the conference on the day of. He brought something a little extra for the people in his session. He had little giveaways. So he just went above and beyond. And so would I hesitate to book Bruce again? Even though I don't like to repeat speakers too much, I would totally repeat Bruce because he was just such a delight to work with. Bruce gets the hashtag dream speaker.
I know that you've taken a lot of notes. I know there's been a lot of great sessions. I know there's been a lot of really good speakers. I've got some great notes that I'm taking back. And we do all come to that crossroads when we leave a conference. Do we go back home all fired up and put those things into action? Or do we file that notebook in the desk drawer, never to come out again, or the next time it sees the light of day is when you say, I'm going to a conference, where's that notebook that I always put my notes in? And you never acted on the ones that you took at the last one. And it's not just on our side of the microphone either. You have to consider all of our constituents, our guests, and yes, our listeners. That's what we're in the business of doing here. We are given an opportunity. When we get behind our microphone to do our podcast, we have a responsibility. It's an opportunity, but it's a responsibility. You need to remind yourself of that every time you sit down at the microphone. Whether you need to put something on the wall that's just a word or a sentence, steal the title of my presentation, put down what I do matters. That we're not here to be celebrities. We're not here to be superstars. We're not here to be somebody because we're a podcaster. I'm here to say that we're podcasters because, as you've heard, we all have a message, we all have a story.
I saw Bruce speak. What I loved about his keynote was that he made us feel something. I was actually sitting in the audience and I was crying because what he had to say was so moving.
The first speaker today, Georgie, she talked about sales, and you could be really good at sales, but image is everything. And if your materials look half-assed, if it doesn't look world-class, if it doesn't look professional, that could lose you a sale. You know, there are people that email me that I look at the way their email is written and I say, no. And it's that quickly that you could get the no in your business, is the way that you present yourself. So what you want to do is you want to present yourself and establish yourself as the authority in your field so that people will want to do business with you. People will want to seek you out. But when I open my desk drawer, there are like so many pens in there that they're falling out of the tray because everybody gives you a pen for their business. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone in here because you're giving away koozies and pens, but I'm here to nicely ask you to stop giving away koozies and pens. And I'm not going to think of your business just because I need a pen and I grab that one. But we're trying to break through the noise and the clutter because that's what I like about this retreat, is it's so quiet in here and it's so personal and it's so focused. And especially, and here's the irony, like a block away is the Strip. where I don't know why they call New York City the city that never sleeps, because to me this is. So here we are instead trying to get away from all that clutter and saying, well, wait a minute, how do I break through this so that people hear about my book, about my story, about my message, and about me as an author? Like it or not, we are all salespeople. And it took me years. I was like, hi, my name is Bruce, and I guess I'm in sales, because I always thought of myself as a PR guy, which I am, but you're constantly selling. If you think of the Seinfeld episode where they were trying to write the pilot, what'd you do today? Nothing. That's a show. You get to points where you say, Bruce, this is all really helpful, but I don't know what to post about on social media. How do you do it 7 days a week on Instagram? All of a sudden you get yourself nominated for an award, you have something to talk about now. You have something to post about. Of course we all want to win, don't get me wrong, but now let's continue going back to that theme at the beginning where people say, well, this person seems to get a lot of award nominated. Eventually they're going to dismiss nominations versus whether you won or not. They're going to say this person's getting recognized quite a bit. So while it helps accomplish social media posts, it also helps accomplish getting people to understand, okay, this person must be doing something right if they're getting this many award nominations.
I thought Bruce's talk was the best of the retreat. It was very well organized, great slides, lots of useful information. I took about a page full of notes, and he just has a really good presentation style that I thought it was the best talk of the retreat.
We loved having Bruce as a speaker for our group.
It was amazing. He had so many great tips for people. It was incredible. I just kept writing and writing and writing and writing.
Our group was so engaged. They ate up all the information that he had, and they had tons of questions for him at the end, which for me is the mark of a really good speaker.
Absolutely.
So we can't wait to have him come speak for our group again. We highly recommend him for your organization.